What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back here with another video. The average at best girl finally speaks. Okay, we get to see how she feel. We get to see how she feels about what Kevin Samuels said and how the advice is going. How her life is going since the advice. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else has been speaking for her. Okay, we didn't have people crying on camera, people acting all kinds of crazy, saying that Kevin Samuels was wrong for what he said. But it's really up to how she took it. All right. So I'm excited to see how she took it. She did an interview, I guess, pop-up match. I don't know. I'll put the video link in the description. But let's get right into this review. Let's get right into this reaction. I'm trying to see what's going on. All right. Let's see.
Hi everyone, my name is Paris. I'm
What's
RealBlackLove.com
up, Paris?
matchmaker. Today we're in for a special treat. We're doing pop-up match for the first time ever in person. So just as far as like your preference, describe your ideal man to me.
Oh, my ideal man will be one, have good character, two, is a good father, a masculine man, someone who's self-driven.
Okay. So off the rip. Okay. I'm giving her props, her kudos. At least she understands the importance of masculinity in 2020. While it's under attack, she's looking for masculinity, okay? That's important. It's okay to be masculine. It's okay to be a guy, all right? Let's go.
Who has ambitious, and who has tenacity.
You said masculine. What's masculine to you?
Masculine is not necessarily a physical trait, but has core values.
I was waiting for the 100K. I guess I don't know, maybe the six figures, maybe that withered away. Maybe after the conversation with Kevin Samuels, she realized maybe that's not what I need in my life. Maybe I don't need a six-figure guy, which is okay. It's okay to have an average guy if you're an average girl. That's 100% okay. All right? No harm, no foul.
Values of a traditional man and traditional roles. Someone who's a problem solver, someone who is who has that desire to want more out of life. I have that desire to want more out of life and live my best life, and I want someone who has that desire too. I don't want to be with a partner where I'm like, hey, you should start your own business. You should do this to better our life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then I feel like I'm being a mother to them, or they may feel like I'm being a mother to them. So I can't give somebody that drive. So I figure that I need somebody who already have that's self-driven.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I admit, I respect that. Okay, every man that want more out of life should be driven. Every person that wants more out of life should be driven. You shouldn't have to force a person to want more out of life, especially as a woman. That's a guy's job. I believe ambition, going out and trying to get that drive, that's a masculine trait. I mean, women can have that too. There are some very competitive women. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not, it could go back and forth. But I feel like everybody should have some kind of ambition, some kind of drive. So that so far so good, if you ask me.
So I take in that like one of your red flags would be a lack of ambition. Tell me some other red flags. This is like, oh my gosh, this is a turn off. I don't like men that are like this. I don't like it when they do this. Any red flags?
I would say men who, of course, men who are jealous, have jealousy and control, and of course that, but also someone who's comfortable with lack.
Okay. So like that poverty mentality, you can't get down with that. I got you.
Just in a box, like don't think outside the box.
I got you. As far as like dating, tell me what your I guess we're in the pandemic right now. So how would your ideal pandemic date go?
My ideal date will be a good view, good food, good wine,
right,
and jazz music.
Jazz music. Okay. In your spare time, what do you like to do around town?
This is a place called Wine by Design, and you get to paint and be creative and drink wine. So I love doing that when I get free time.
Do you ever hang out with your girlfriends or?
The only thing I do find that's weird that she said earlier that I'm just starting to think about is that one of the things she wanted in a guy is a good father, a guy that wants to be a good father. Okay, and I understand that that's something that you want, but you waited too late. You got to be looking for those ladies. If there's any women listening, you got to be looking for those traits early in life, and you got to be patient with these men. Okay, don't go out in your 20s and do, what she did. She is a single mother and get pregnant by a dude that don't got the characteristics that you want later on in life. Off the rip, you should be looking for a dude that wants to be a good father. But everybody want the ballers, right? Everybody want the ballers till you left alone. Everybody want the ballers till you left alone.
Go out?
Sometimes not too much, no.
Okay.
Especially not during this pandemic, it's really.
Right. Okay. Do you like to travel?
I love to travel.
Where?
I love seeing new cultures and learning new things, trying new foods. So anything involved with that, I'm down.
Okay. Gotcha. You got your passport?
I do.
Okay. Ready to get out. Probably go somewhere that got lower COVID numbers, right?
Okay.
Where's the last place that you went?
Mexico.
Oh, we're in Mexico.
Cancun.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
That was actually a girls trip, so we had fun.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Tell me what if I was to round up your exes and ask them what's one good thing about Jessica and what's one major bad thing about Jessica, what would they tell you?
Well, they'll say that I'm loyal, and they'll probably say that honestly, if I have an issue in a relationship, a lot of times I don't express it, especially if I feel like it's going to cause conflict, because I don't like confrontation. Like, I try to avoid it if I can, and I'll hold it in. So they kind of got to push me like, what's wrong, and kind of dive a little bit deep. But there's something I'm working on, and I realize.
So when was your last relationship? When did that end? How long has it been?
My last relationship was 2 years ago, and it lasted for almost 2 years.
Okay. So you took some time out of dating before you decided to come back, or?
Yeah. When I put myself out there, a lot of times, if it don't go my way or don't go right, and I'm like, let me just put dating on the back burner. Let me focus back on my career. So I think in between relationships, I spend a lot of time really not even going back out there and seeing.
And that's another thing too. With a lot of black women or just women in general that are super sophisticated, that have done their schoolwork, that have gone to the next level, that have their business and stuff. A lot of times it just they wait too late. So you just so busy grinding, which is important. I understand in your 20s you gotta grind, but then when it come to your 30s, it's almost too late to try to jump into a new relationship. It's much harder to do for a woman when you in your 30s than it is when you in your early 20s. So what happens is they start trying to rush in their 30s, trying to find the best person that's going to be able to, provide for the kid, be around and find a long-term partner. But the dating value has gone down. Women, as they get older, dating value goes down. Men's go up. The dating pool goes down for women. For men, the dating pool gets bigger. Let's just keep it real. That's how it is. So, yeah, unfortunately, she may have waited too late. I know she said she was 35 when the video came out. I don't know if she's had a birthday, but at 35, it's going to be much harder to find somebody, you know what I mean, that's trying to do something serious, that's trying to be a father, that don't already got kids. It looks like she did kind of alter her requirements of what she was looking for a little bit, because before she was looking for a six-figure guy. Now it looks like that's changed. Hopefully she might have had a little enlightenment, and that is nothing wrong with wanting a normal guy that's driven and ambitious, because maybe one day he will become a six-figure guy. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't just try to go out off the rip and just think that the world is, or men are just going to take whatever you want to give. Men have requirements, and women should listen to the requirements and not tell us what we want. Okay? We don't want big women. You can keep saying it all you want, but we don't. We don't want single mothers. You can keep saying it all you want, but we don't.
The test of waters.
So whenever we was watching a video, and a lot of other professionals that work in the field, they kind of came to the same conclusion that you really weren't really being heard.
Yeah.
Everything that you was after and kind of the reasoning why. Just tell me briefly, like, what was the whole conversation around, like, you wanting a guy that was high earning and making six figures? Why was that important or seemed to be highlighted in that conversation?
I would say one, his narrative is he's a six-figure income guy, and he's giving that's his main thing. But my thing was one is I make six figures myself. I think me wanting somebody to make six figures minimum is not that much. Six figures is not a lot of money. It's not a millionaire. And all I was simply saying is I want my equal. 'Cause
And that's okay. But the only problem is also with this. You start focusing on your career so hard, and you assume just because you focused on your career and you make six figures, guys that make six figures want women that make six figures. Guys that make six figures don't care if a woman makes six figures. They want femininity. They want a nurturer. They already have enough money. So they're not looking for a woman that just has more money just because. That's not what men want out of relationships. Most men are okay and actually strive to be the providers in relationships naturally. So we don't care if a woman is already has six figures. So when you start making six figures, it brings your dating pool even further down because now you're still trying to look for somebody that's across or up, but just fewer people are making six figures now. Fewer people are making six figures, and the ones that are looking for nines and tens. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. If you get your choice of the lot, you're going to pick the best looking thing out there. That's just natural. That's just how it works.
what I learned in my past is if I date down, then I'm paying for it. All of a sudden now I'm paying for the dates, and all of a sudden now I got it.
So those were experiences that you went through yourself.
Yeah, that hinders me, and I felt like, if I wasn't in those positions, I could be a lot further along because, as Black women, we're taught to be that ride or die chick and to hold him down till he get his rapping career off or till he get this till he get this off. And I'm like, I'm tired of that.
That's the struggle of. You got to
Sound like you messing with the wrong kind of dudes. You talk about rap careers. There's plenty of men out there that's working just a 40-hour a week job. Hard-working men. There's plenty of them. Plenty of guys working in factories. But don't nobody want them. Everybody want the people. Everybody want the ballers. Everybody want the people that's walking around in the nicest clothes. Okay? But sometimes you got to go with the dude that's in the work boots instead of the Louis Vuitton shoes, because a lot of them dudes don't really got no money. It be the dudes in the work boots. Okay, that's what you got to be looking for. Look for dirty hands, okay? Look for people that's, already working if you don't want to wait for somebody to be something else. Because sometimes you are going to have to help a guy if he isn't where he wants to be yet. Sometimes that's how it is. And when he get there, that men do it all the time. Men who provide, that's our job. We usually provide. So we're used to just giving it out. We don't even think of it. Like if I have to buy stuff, I don't even think about it. It is what it is. Like I feel like I want to do that. Okay, sometimes you got to be a little bit more patient, or you got to go with a guy that's already established. Just because he ain't making six figures, there ain't nothing wrong with a $60,000 a year guy that's working 40 hours a week. That's stable. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Stop looking for the jewelry and the flashiness and the fakeness. Okay, stop being lured in by bright shiny objects. Okay, look for the hard workers. You want a person with ambition? Look for a hard worker.
Okay. I'm over that. I want to meet somebody on my level who share traditional core values as I do, and I feel like that's what's going to make me happy.
Right. So you weren't asking for a millionaire, which I didn't think you were. You were just looking for someone who was like financially stable.
Yeah. And also, I didn't say the other traits, which I thought was common sense, which was core values and good character, good father, of course, all that. But outside of that, I want this too.
You know what they say?
What?
Common sense ain't always common. Right?
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, and I think that.
Yeah, the whole good father thing is kind of burning me. Because it's just so unfortunate that Black women, or women in general, and it's not just Black women, but women in general, black women tend to fall a little bit more victim to it. But women in general are being told that you're not supposed to look for those characteristics. You just want the guy that looks like he has the most, just because he looks like he has the most. You're not judging his character off the rip. You got to start like that. That way you don't end up in a position where you're 35 and you a single mother. And no matter what, and as you can see, it don't matter if you can provide for yourself. Being independent eventually gets old. Regardless. Eventually you going to want somebody. That's how it works. Eventually you will.
Interpersonal skills, substance. That doesn't get talked about enough.
Exactly.
And that is important. That's one thing that we preach over and over with matchmaking, like trying to get down to the core of understanding that person, what interpersonal skills really stand out as far as what you're attracted to, knowing yourself, knowing how you communicate, knowing what type of people can motivate and encourage you, and then the people that you're wanting to motivate and encourage as well. Another thing in that video that really stood out to everyone was the rate yourself part.
Yeah.
If you could go back over again and rate yourself, tell me how would you do it? And if you were to do it, how would you rate yourself?
I will.
Why would you not rate yourself? Why? I don't understand why you wouldn't rate yourself. What's wrong with rating yourself? I don't understand that. You don't have to be the best looking. Why do people keep thinking that? You don't have to be the best looking person in the world. You got to know your strengths and weaknesses. Okay? If I go out there and I play football and I get my ass whooped, I'm going to find out maybe I'm good at math. Okay? You don't got to be pretty to be successful to get what you want out of life, to find love. You don't necessarily have to be the prettiest person in the room. You don't got to be the most handsome guy in the room. And there's nothing wrong with being realistic with yourself, because that's how you know what you're capable of. I'm 5'7". If I just kept dreaming of being in the NBA, I might have never made, I might have never ran track or played rugby or something like that. And realistically speaking, if you 5'7", your chances is slim. But you got to be real with yourself. You don't see people that's 5'7" walking around talking about, I'm finna be in the NBA all their lives, because you got to be real with yourself. Are you really capable of doing that? If not, there are other things you're capable of doing. Everybody got something. But be real with yourself and who you are. You ain't got to be the best looking. You ain't got to be the best at everything. What you're not good at, you're not good at. But you're good at something. Keep it real with yourself. It's all right. It's all right to be a 6 or 5. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Sure.
Rate myself all around. Looks, my characteristic, who I am as a person, and with all that said, I would say 10.
Right.
But he was saying just looks, and I was trying to entertain his logic or whatever he was saying. And a lot of part that people didn't hear is he said that if Beyonce was an 8 and you can't use 7, what do you rate yourself? I mean, I think Beyonce is a 10, but since she's an 8 and I can't use 7, I guess I say 6. And I feel like, when we wake up as women, we're average and we, put ourselves together.
Did he really rate Beyonce at 8?
Yeah. What is he?
What scale is he on?
I don't know, honey.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of pretty people in the world. Like, she's a pop star. She's great looking. But people really do be hyping. I mean, that's just, that's always going to be personal preference. I'm more personally a Kelly Rowland kind of guy. You feel me? I think looks-wise, just pure looks, no makeup on, just face, Kelly Rowland looks better. Me personally. But, that's going to be a little tit for tat. That's going to be, little small preferences. But, sure, I don't know about a 10. I don't know about all that. Like, if we really being real.
I understand that logic, because the way it painted it out, it seemed like, you were someone who had low self-esteem. And when it's taken out of context like that, then it definitely paints it to like, you have low self-esteem. Your energy, your vibe, you're a very confident woman. You give off that aura. So I don't think that rating system was a fair reflection of who you are. And I think to try to put a whole person on a 1 to 10 scale anyways, kind of.
Especially just off the looks side.
Like
people don't judge their partners off that.
Right.
Well, a lot of the things that women don't want to have to hear is that men, if we don't know you, you are rated off of your looks. If you're in the dating world, and everybody do it, women do it too. And so to act like this is just some kind of crazy concept that before you even meet a person, you're rated off your looks is unrealistic. You're living in a fantasy world. Everybody rates people based on their looks. Everybody. You're not going to give a person you think is a 2 even a shot to even get to see their character, to find out if they're a better. If you look like a 6 or you look like a 5 and a person's looking for a 9 or a 10, you're never going to get the chance to show your character. Because you already got counted out at the beginning. And that's okay. Now go find yourself a 5 or a 6. Maybe a 7 or 8 to be with. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sure.
Right.
But the idea that people don't rate just off looks is just crazy. So we got to stop that. That's unrealistic. That's not real. That's not true. Okay? That's not true. I understand people got good character, cool and cool. You got to get past the look part to get to the character part. Let's keep it a buck. It's just how it is.
And I definitely think I'm a confident woman, but when I was put on that platform and then I looked at my phone and I see my face plastered up there.
And you wasn't expecting that.
I didn't know my face was up there. And I can tell that he was trying to push me. Mm-hmm. And I can tell he wanted me to be that angry black girl.
Right.
And I wasn't going to give him that. And plus my personality, I try to avoid conversation. So, it's just like, I just didn't want to. And I was caught off guard, and it was like.
Well, the problem and the reason why he got a little bit more upset is she called on a day that he wasn't doing that. Okay, he wasn't giving advice that day. She called at the wrong time. She called at an inappropriate time, and she knew it was an inappropriate time, but he continued anyway. Okay, that was him trying to do her a favor. When he told her what it was, she didn't want to understand it. She didn't want to reflect on it. She wanted to just hear it and then think her own thing. But he was giving her the game. She didn't want to take the game, and so that kind of gets frustrating when you calling me on a day that you're not supposed to be calling me. You know you're not supposed to be calling me today, and I'm giving you the game, and you still acting like I'm not giving you the game. You still acting like what I'm saying ain't true. When every human being know, and every human being can keep it real with themselves. You not know Beyonce, you not know Kelly Rowland. Okay? That's okay, though. Keep it real with yourself. And that's what he was just trying. I feel like what he was trying to do was just keep it real. Now, some people don't like how he said it. And I okay, cool. But it's the what he was saying. So many people get hung up on how you say stuff is what you're saying. And so you get smooth talkers that's just talking craziness. Like all these presidents that's been promising black people stuff for forever that are smooth talkers that ain't been performing. Because y'all so worried about delivery instead of the actual message. Stop worrying about the delivery, worry about the actual message, and maybe we can get further. Because sometimes the people with the best words, the people with the best messages, don't got time to be trying to think about how they're going to deliver it. Delivery is for people that's trying to sell you something. Somebody that's going to tell you how it is ain't worried about a delivery because they telling you how it is.
I mean, I commend you. I commend you for not hanging up. I commend you for not going off and not being that stereotype that we see all the time as far as that angry black woman. I think a lot of people kind of they saw you and they saw someone special. The people who have the intelligence to recognize special people when you see them, you are a good thing. And if any man finds you, he's found a wife. You know, our show isn't about Kevin. Our show.
But you don't know her. And this is where the pandering and coddling comes in. You don't know her. You don't know if she's a prize. You don't know if she would be wife material. You don't know her at all. So you're just telling her things she wants to hear so she can nod and have a smile. You don't know. Okay? You don't. And this is what happens. You just tell people things that they want to hear, and then they don't get anywhere because they think they just soak it all in and think it's true. You don't know that. She could be a horrible person. From what I see, it does seem like she's a pretty cool person. Like she does seem like a pretty feminine woman, actually. She seems like she's taking it all in. She ain't too loud, you know what I mean? Trying to argue all day. She seems pretty like a fem. She ain't trying to compete. She seems pretty feminine in this clip in particular. So I'm not saying that she's a bad person, but I'm saying she doesn't know if she's wife material. She's just saying that because she wanted to she want a nod, she want approval.
Shows about Jessica. Our show is about pop-up match where we take the time to figure out who you are. We take the time to figure out what Jessica likes. Because I guarantee you right now, it's some man that's sitting in his living room, rubbing his feet together, eating his cereal by himself that he does every single night, especially since quarantine's happened. And he is looking for a woman that is loyal
Facts.
and driven
Facts.
and hardworking
Facts.
and kind and a good nurturer. So should that man be out there that's interested?
And that's exactly what men are looking for. Exactly what she just said. So if you being all that, you're going to find somebody. Especially if you're looking for somebody that's in your realm of actually getting. Okay? Be all those things that she just listed. Try to stay fit. Try to keep up with yourself. Just try. Make an effort. If you want to find a husband. If that's something you want to do. If that's not something you want to do, do what you want to do. If you want to be independent and you want to be upset and bitter about what men want and what we require, do that. Okay? But if you do want one, just do exactly the exact things that she said is what men want. That's what we want. That's it. Kind, nurturing. That's what we want. Gentle. That's what we want. We don't want to have to be arguing all day. All right? That's what the things that she just listed is exactly what we want. Try to be that in your 20s when it's a little tougher because you do have a higher dating value. It's a little tougher to be those things because you do pull the strings a little bit more because you have the time. Until you become a single mother, then it gets a little tougher. Okay?
Invested in starting something serious with a woman that is heavily invested in herself, reach out to her because, good thing don't last single out here for long. So let's hop to it.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm not mad. I'm not upset. The audio quality wasn't very good. I mean, so don't blame that on me. I want to know what y'all think. What y'all think about this whole interview? I thought that it was a little bit, especially the beginning, a little slow. You know what I mean? We know what you're here for. We know why you're here. It's because of the average at best. We want to know how you feel about being a 6. We want to know how it's affected your life. We should have just started with that instead of doing all the, do you like kittens? What kind of cereal do you eat? Okay, you know why we're here. You know why we clicked on this video. Let's get straight to it. But I'm not mad about the interview. I feel like it did seem like she might have learned a little something. Okay? It did seem like she did come down a little bit on her standards. And that opens up her dating pool. You ain't got to go get no loser. Because it is a bunch of loser men, too. It's a bunch of them. And it's a problem. The man who had sex with her and then ran away and didn't take care of his child, that's a problem. That's not good. Okay? I know people like to act like it's just women with problems, but some of us men messed up too. Okay? Some of us men pretty messed up. All right? So I'm not upset with the interview. It looks like there was some growth. It didn't look like it was too much just attacking Kevin Samuels and how he was coming. It didn't sound too harsh. And it wasn't too emotional. People weren't crying over, you know what I mean? It was right to the point. It was sharp. I mean, the second part was getting more to the point, and it was sharper. Let me know what y'all think about the interview. Let me know what y'all think about the things she's looking for in a guy. Do you think it's realistic? Do you think she's become more realistic? Do you think Kevin Samuels' message affected her? Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Until next time, y'all.